So, that stuff from last week about how the UCI was going to live stream women's racing? Well, it turns out that that wasn't actually the case. Though I and some others definitely got the impression that that's what we were supposed to think was happening. The UCI did announce training video maker Sufferfest as a title sponsor for the Women's World Cup. Although they did neglect to mention Sufferfest in their tweet announcing this. That's okay, the UCI only has like 90,000 followers. I'm sure Sufferfest doesn't mind. Oh, right, and I can't actually see any of the races Sufferfest is sponsoring either, so... But I did get to see the Sufferfest logo on the UCI's YouTube recap of Trofea Binda, complete with improved audio and video. The race was won by Orica AIS's Emma Johansson ahead of Boels Dolman's Lizzie Armistead, whose second place was good enough for her to retain the overall World Cup lead. I also caught snippets of the women's Gent-Wevelgem on Sporza's post-race coverage from the men's event. Optum Kelly Benefit's Lauren Hall, coyly disguised as a Team USA rider, won a sprint out of a 3-rider group drifting just ahead of a 5-rider chase. Both Cycling News and Velo News made attempts at explaining to me how the race got to this point, and Cycling News even had a longer feature on the American women in Belgium. So that's a definite step up over the sort of reporting we've seen thus far. Now, if someone could just upload some high-def footage for me, we could have a How the Race Was Won about it, too. While it might seem silly to have Gent-Wevelgem and Trofea Binda overlap each other on the world calendar, the men's side had at least 3 events going last weekend. Katusha's Joaquim Rodriguez locked up the overall at Volta a Catalunya, Giant Shimano's John Degenkolb won at Gent-Wevelgem, which, by the way, I'm sure you've all seen video of by now. And the pro version of the Amateurs Weekend Stage Race, Criterium International, was won by Jean-Christophe Perraud. In fact, the win put his AG2R squad, which I once referred to as Token French Breakaway, onto the top of the UCI's team standings. In recognition of this, I will now refer to them by their proper name of AG Desert. I may not parler much français, but even I can handle l'alphabet. Gent-Wevelgem was just another stage in what Cannondale's Ted King recently called the Grand Tour Belgium. And actually, I'm a little bit disappointed I didn't come up with that neologism myself. It really does feel like a Grand Tour designed by people who like bike races, instead of something literally designed to kill all but one competitor. The latest stages in this would-be Grand Tour dovetail nicely with my inability to correctly pronounce anything, as Omega Pharma's Guillaume van Kersberg won the 3 days of De Panne. The race technically has a much longer name, though I've never felt compelled to rattle it all off because it's always seemed like a place where collarbones go to die before the biggest races of the year. And really, hasn't Team Sky's detail-focused philosophy shown that the best way to prepare for Paris-Roubaix is by doing a block of training? Wait, what's that? Wiggins is doing Tour of Flanders now? Oh, Sky, I see that you're saying it's because of Stannard's injury, but you don't fool me. I think I see how this chess match is playing out. But yes, Flanders is this weekend, one of 2 Queen stages in this would-be Grand Tour, though I guess technically the other one is in France. And to give you an idea of Omega Pharma's depth, even Van Kersberg, coming off his recent win, is hoping for a spot on the team. It's interesting too that Van Kersberg is just the latest rider referred to as the next Tom Boonen. Personally, I think that's a ludicrous standard, but also it reflects some positive changes in the sport. After all, once upon a time the old Tom Boonen, that is to say the young Tom Boonen, was considered a Tour de France contender. I'm not making this up. I am glad that didn't happen. Same too with Stan de Volder, who has paradoxically been referred to as the next Lance Armstrong and the next Tom Boonen. The current Tom Boonen, that is, not the previous Tom Boonen who is going to be the next. Look, the point is that the standard for success in cycling is no longer 7 consecutive Tours de France. In fact, it's not even 1 Tour de France. We all laugh now that George Hincapie was once considered a Tour contender, but there was a time when that wasn't a joke. Experience and the general numbskullery of internet forums have made me very hesitant to say if something is or is not a sign of a cleaner sport. But I can unequivocally say that fewer people trying to win the Tour de France is a very good thing. The TDF is a cryptic month-long billion-dollar power-to-mass ratio that everyone in the world knows about, but no one outside of cycling understands. More riders bringing success to more sponsors through the surprising diversity of niches in this sport, particularly those that can be distilled to first guy across the line wins, are almost certainly a critical step in branding cycling as something other than that sport where everyone's on drugs. It's one of the many reasons why this Franco-Belgian Grand Tour that isn't is one of my favorite events of the year. I'm Cosmo Catalano, and that was the week in bike.